Today's lesson is called Facts About Bats. Hi everyone, my name is Jeff.
My name is Roger, and the title of today's lesson is all about bats. And yes, indeed, maybe you're a sports fan and you're thinking, hey, you're going to talk about baseball bats or cricket bats. No, it's not that kind of bat. We're talking about those bats that fly in the sky, and they usually come out at night because they fly out of caves and stuff like that to look for bugs to eat, and then they sleep during the day.
Yep, that's what bats do for the most part. They are usually nocturnal creatures, i.e. they're creatures that come out at night. They do their hunting at night and stuff like that. And for the most part, bats, I think, are pretty cool, and they've kind of gotten a bad rap. Most people associate bats with scary stuff, like vampires and stuff like that. But bats are actually amazingly cool creatures. And no, even though vampire bats do exist, if you get bitten by a vampire bat, chances are they're going to get a little blood out of you, drink a little bit of your blood, but they will not be turning you into a vampire. No, no, no. Anyways, bats are amazing. What I've heard is that air forces around the world have been using something called sonar and echolocation for years and years and years. They have the best computers in the world, but even then, they can't do as good a job as a bat can when that bat is using sound to locate prey. Yes, bats are amazing when it comes to using sound and stuff like that to track down the things that they eat. They're super amazing. They can do things that even advanced militaries can't do. That's just how cool bats are. Anyways, folks, with that, let's go ahead and take a short break. But when we come back, we'll start reading about bats.
Facts about bats.
Many people have an aversion to bats. Maybe it's because of the way bats look or their connection with vampires in stories. However, bats are actually quite amazing. They even provide benefits to our environment. Most wouldn't think of bats as fast flyers, but their super thin wings stretch over their arms and fingers and can propel them forward at high speeds. One particular species, the Mexican free-tailed bat, has been measured flying at up to 160 kilometers per hour in level flight. That's a faster horizontal speed than any bird can reach.
大家好，第一部分我们看到片语 think of A as B， 表示把 A 视为 B。例如 Some people think of exercise as a chore, but I find it to be a lot of fun. 有些人把运动当作是苦差事，但我却觉得运动很有趣。另外补充同义的片语 see or view or regard A as B。我们可以说 Tina sees or views or regards her voice as her most valuable gift because she makes a living by singing. Tina 视她的声音为最宝贵的天赋，因为她以歌唱为生。再来我们看到一个形容词 horizontal， 指水平的。像是 Philip stacked his books in a neat horizontal line. Philip 把他的书以一整条整齐的水平线堆放着。另外，补充这个字的反义词 vertical, V-E-R-T-I-C-A-L, vertical, 指垂直的。可以说 Someone told me that shirts with vertical stripes make you look thinner. 有人跟我说，直条纹的衬衫会让你看起来更瘦。
Okay, so the first part of our lesson begins by saying many people have an aversion to bats. That's true. I think a lot of people out there have an aversion to snakes. They have an aversion to spiders. These are basically creatures that people are afraid of. So that's what that means. If you have an aversion to something, that means you try to avert that thing. You try to avoid that thing. You are scared of that thing. You'd rather that thing just go away, like cockroaches.
There you go. I definitely do have an aversion to cockroaches. I would be a lot happier if they weren't around. Maybe they can exist somewhere else, but I feel a whole lot better when they're not around me. Why? Because, yes, I have an aversion to cockroaches. And sadly, many people do have an aversion to bats. But why? Well, maybe it's because of the way bats look or their connection with vampires and stories. And yes, bats aren't the most beautiful animals out there, okay? They kind of do look a little bit scary. They're usually black and hairy. Facially, they're not particularly beautiful, and they've got claws and stuff like that. So yeah, they kind of look a little bit scary, and they've also been connected to vampires in stories. Yeah, Count Dracula can turn himself into a bat and fly all over the place and stuff like that. So for this reason, or for these two reasons, I should say, yeah, bats have gotten a bad rap. People do have an aversion to bats very often.
I guess I'm fortunate. I read an article in National Geographic many years ago about bats, and they had some close-up pictures of them. Oh, they're so cute. They're cute like hamsters or other kinds of creatures like that. So I have no aversion to bats. I think they're pretty cool. But maybe people have an aversion to bats because of the way they fly. It's quite erratic, the way they fly back and forth, forward, backward, and stuff like that. Not like birds, which fly pretty much straight and gracefully with their wings flapping. Bats are kind of all over the place. But in either case here, some people do kind of avoid bats. However, bats are actually quite amazing. They even provide benefits to our environment. So yes, don't give bats a bad rap just yet. Don't think they're pests that need to be destroyed. Follow our article for today. Listen, and we'll tell you some good things about bats, and maybe you will change your mind.
There you go indeed. Anyways, moving on. The next paragraph begins by saying, most wouldn't think of bats as fast flyers, but their super thin wings stretch over their arms and fingers and can propel them forward at high speed. So most people, when they think of bats, they don't think, yeah, those guys can fly really, really fast. In fact, they might think of bats as kind of erratic flyers like Roger was talking about before. Yeah, most people wouldn't think of bats as fast flyers. They wouldn't hold this opinion of bats on a common basis. But get this, bats do fly well, and they certainly are fast flyers. Some species are extremely fast, actually.
So if you look at the way they're built, you can tell that, hey, they can use those wings to go really, really fast. If you try to move yourself, you propel yourself. That's why airplanes have propellers, those things that spin on the engines. They move or propel the plane forward. So here to propel means to move something, to move it forward, and to move bats forward because of those thin wings over their arms and fingers.
Anyways, yeah, most people wouldn't think of bats as fast flyers, but boy, are they ever wrong. One particular species of bat, okay, is super fast. Yeah, one particular species, the Mexican free-tailed bat, has been measured flying at up to 160 kilometers per hour in level flight. Yeah, that's a faster horizontal speed than any bird can reach. Now, here we're making a very specific point. I believe that there are some falcons or some birds that reach speeds of greater than 160 kilometers per hour, but they don't do so in level flight. They are descending, using gravity to help them as they fall towards the earth and towards their prey. Yeah, they pick up extra speed in that way. This particular bat, though, reaches these speeds of up to 160 kilometers per hour in level flight. They're not flying vertically. They're not falling. No. They're reaching this speed horizontally. They're going side to side, left to right, forward to backward, or backward to forward, I should say, and not up to down.
Wow, that sounds like something that you could race in a competition. Maybe instead of raising pigeons here in Taiwan, people should consider raising bats for competitions. But that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today. Let's find out some more things about bats in the second part. Let's listen.
Besides speed, bats also have special navigational skills. Flying mostly at night, bats use echolocation to find their way around and to look for food in the dark. To figure out the size and position of objects, they produce high-frequency sounds and then analyze the sounds that bounce back to them.
第二部分我们看到单字 echolocation 这个字是名词，指回声定位。举例来说 Dolphins use echolocation to reflect where other creatures are. 海豚利用回声定位来反射其他生物的位置。再来我们看到一个动词 analyze 有分析的意思。例如 Richard needed more time to properly analyze his feelings. Richard 需要更多时间好好分析自己的感觉。另外补充这个字的名词 analysis A-N-A-L-Y-S-I-S analysis 指分析、解析。我们可以说 Our next step will be to do an analysis of the data from the experiment. 我们的下一步是分析这项实验的资料。接下来我们看到一个单字 bounce 这个字是动词，指弹起、反弹。举例来说 The neighborhood kids spent their afternoon bouncing a tennis ball in the street. 附近的孩子整个下午都在街上拍网球。另外补充一个相关片语，可以用 bounce back 来代表重新振作、卷土重来。我们可以说 After losing his previous match, Jim vowed to bounce back and return even stronger. 在前一场比赛输掉之后 Jim 誓言要重振旗鼓，以更强的实力回归。
During the intro to our program, I said that some bats, are able to do things that advanced militaries can't even do. Yes, advanced militaries do use sonar to locate things and stuff like that. And bats use something similar, but even better. They can use sound to locate things. Echolocation. Anyways, we'll get to that soon. For right now, yes, besides speed, bats also have special navigational skills. Yes, they can find their way around, even though their eyes might not be that great, or even though they might be flying around at night in the pitch black without a flashlight or anything like that. Yes, they're able to get around. They have excellent navigational skills.
Navigational, that's the adjective of the word navigation, which talks about when you try to figure out exactly where you are and how to get from point A to point B. So, of course, sailors had to use special navigation skills to sail, say, from Europe to America or something like that. They would navigate using special charts or looking at the stars or whatever. I guess ships navigate nowadays with radar and GPS systems and stuff like that. So in this particular case, though, bats don't have GPS systems. They've got some special navigational skills. How they figure out where they are, where they're going, and not how to bump into each other.
Yeah, flying mostly at night. These creatures are nocturnal. Okay, they hunt and come out and do their stuff at night. Flying mostly at night, bats use echolocation to find their way around and to look for food in the dark. Yes, they do these things. They find their way around, and they also find food by using sound. Okay, they can locate things or place where these things are in their environment by using sound. How about that? Anyways, it says here, for the most part, they fly at night. Maybe every once in a while they fly in the evening or the early morning, but for the most part, bats fly at night. The majority of the time they fly at night, or you can say that they fly mostly at night. Mostly, by the way, yes, is an adverb.
They can see, of course. Bats are not blind, but I guess they use echolocation more to find food. And to figure out the size and position of objects, they produce high-frequency sounds and then analyze the sounds that bounce back to them. So here we've got high-frequency sounds maybe above 20,000 hertz or something like that. A low frequency sound would be like maybe 20 hertz or something like that. But a high frequency would be in the thousands there. And so they produce these sounds that are so high that only dogs can hear them.
Maybe dogs can hear them, maybe not. But yes, they're definitely high frequency sounds, intense sounds with usually like a short wavelength if you've talked about sound in the form of waves. But we won't go off on that tangent right now. They do produce these sounds and then they analyze the sounds that bounce back to them. So that's what echolocation is all about. Yes, when a sound echoes, it bounces off a surface and it comes back and you hear it again. Let's say you're in an empty space, like a cave, let's say, and you scream. You might hear the sound of your voice come back to you, okay? That's what happens when an echo occurs. That sound has bounced off a surface and has come back and touched your ear again, so you hear it again. And yes, sounds can bounce, okay? Light can bounce and balls can bounce, and so can sound. And in each situation, the idea is about the same. Now, we as humans, we can hear echoes, but we really can't analyze those echoes. But yes, if you give bats those echoes, those sounds, in their mind, they're able to process this information and to reach pretty cool conclusions about it. Yeah, by analyzing or processing or going through these sounds, they can tell where they are, where something is, or they can even find what they want to eat next.
Okay, let's move on now to the third and final part of our lesson for today. We'll listen first.
The most surprising feature of bats is probably their caring nature. Some bat species share their meals with each other when food supplies are low or when another bat can't get its own food. Such generosity isn't a quality that one would normally associate with bats.
第三部分我们看到形容词 caring 用来指有爱心的、关心他人的，像是 Julie is a caring person who always wants to help others. Julie 是一个总是想帮助别人、很有爱心的人。最后我们看到单字 generosity 这个字是名词，指慷慨大方。例如 Even though she is very poor, she is well known for her generosity. 虽然她很穷，却以慷慨而闻名。另外补充这个字的形容词 generous, G-E-N-E-R-O-U-S, generous 指慷慨的、大方的。可以说 Several generous donors made contributions to the cause. 好几名慷慨的捐赠者捐款给这项事业。
Okay, the most surprising feature of bats is probably their caring nature. So the echolocation, that's pretty cool. The fact that some bats are really, really fast flyers, that's also pretty good. But you know what the most surprising thing is that bats are actually quite caring. Yeah, bats kind of only come out at night and they kind of sleep in spooky ways and spooky caves and places like that. So you wouldn't really think of them as being caring. You would kind of think of them as being spooky and dark creatures. Ooh, like the vampire bat. How scary. Well, the case is actually true for bats. No, they're not scary, nasty creatures. They're actually quite nice. They're quite caring when it comes to other bats.
Yep, they care for each other. They're not just individual. They're not just selfish, only caring about themselves. They actually are team players here. Some bat species share their meals with each other when food supplies are low or when another bat can't get its own food. Now, isn't that nice? Of course, if they have low food supplies, if there aren't that many bugs flying around at night, well, then maybe some bats have a few more bugs than other bats do. So, hey, come over here. You can have some of this here. I don't need it. I'm full. So they share their food supplies. And then, of course, if another bat maybe injured its wing or something and can't fly as well, they'll say, hey, help out that bat here. He can't fly so well. Let's save some food for him later.
There you go. Yes, such generosity isn't a quality that one would normally associate with bats. But you know what? It's true. Bats are caring. Bats are kind. bats are generous. Yeah, generous is the adjective. Generosity is the noun. Yes, people say that Jesus Christ is well known for his generosity. He was a generous guy when he was walking on planet Earth. All right, folks, with that, today's lesson is now in the books, but don't go away. The Chinese teacher is on the way.
Hello, 各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。蝙蝠的翅膀其实是皮膜，它不但非常的薄，而且有延展到手臂和手指，这使得它们得以高速前进。好，课文里面用到 propel 这个动词，它是指推进、推动。当我们说 propel 名词 forward 就表示推动什么什么向前，所以文中用到 propel them forward at high speeds 就表示推动它们高速前进。好，那我们顺便来学 propel 它的字首字根。P-E-L 这个字根呢，有驱动、推挤或是鞭策的意思。那么在 propel 这个字当中，它的字首 P-R-O 表示向前或是在什么什么之前，然后字根 P-E-L 表示驱使。那把字首字根结合在一起，它就有驱使向前的语义。这样应该不难联想到 propel 它有推进、驱动或是驱使的意思吧。好，那我们这边再顺便补充几个有相同字根的单字。第一个是 expel E-X-P-E-L， 它的字首 E-X 表示由内向外， P-E-L 字根表示推挤。好，那么把某人或某事物由内往外挤出去，那它就有驱逐、排出的语义咯。好，第二个字 compel C-O-M-P-E-L， 它的字首 C-O-M 表示完全一起，那么 P-E-L 表示推挤。同学们可以试着想象你在捷运车厢里面啊，或是参加跨年活动的时候，人太多了，全部都挤在一起，就算你不想动，你也会被人潮推着走，你不得不移动脚步。所以 compel 这个字它有这个强迫、迫使或者使什么不得不的意思。第三个字 dispel D-I-S-P-E-L， 它的字首 D-I-S 有这个 apart、away 这种分离、远离的意思。那么 P-E-L 它表示驱使。好，使某事物分散远离，应该就可以联想到 dispel 它有驱散或是消除的意思。像我们要表达消除疑虑、消除恐惧等等，就可以用 dispel 这个字表达。好，课文第三部分提到说，有些蝙蝠物种会互相分享食物。他说 Such generosity isn't a quality that one would normally associate with bats. 这样慷慨的特质，人们一般不会把它跟蝙蝠联想在一起。那这边我们来学习 associate 当动词的用法。associate 可以用来表达说使什么有关联啊，或是把什么联想在一起。我们会用 associate A with B 来表达使 A 和 B 有关联，或是把 A 和 B 联想在一起。那其实也可以用被动语态 A be associated with B 来表达。举例来说， A lack of sleep might be associated with obesity. 睡眠不足可能跟肥胖有关联。好，再造一个例句。 Some people associate picnics with parks. 有些人把野餐和公园联想在一起。好，那么以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Horizontal. Scientists have found that horizontal stripes on clothing make people look thinner than vertical stripes do. Mostly. After eating a small snack before dinner, I was already mostly full. Frequency. Elephants communicate with low-frequency sounds that humans are unable to hear. Analyze.
We analyzed the data carefully and then made a decision.
Bounce. When playing tennis, you can only let the ball bounce once before hitting it. Generosity. Throughout the world, Bill and Melinda Gates are well known for their generosity.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.